Joined now by the head coach of the Rangers from the bubble in Toronto, David Quinn. David, thanks for joining us. You guys travel to Toronto on Sunday. When you go into Canada, you have to fill out a declarations form in which they ask you how long you plan to stay in their country. So I'm curious, how long did you tell them you're going to be there?
I left it blank. there was a lot of jokes about that when we were filling it out, but we plan on being here a long time, obviously, as I'm sure do 23 other teams. So, we're excited about being here. We've had a good camp so far, and, it's going to be fun to play for real.
Among the 100 unique elements of this postseason is the fact that you'll have a new defensive coach in Gord Murphy as he takes over for Lindy Ruff, who went on to become the head coach of the Devils. In many ways, Lindy could have been a huge help for you in this second season, so to speak. How much of an adjustment is this going to be, introducing a new defense coach and a new maybe penalty kill situation in this time of year?
It's been a fluid transition, and that being said, I can't thank Lindy enough for everything he's done for me personally and for this organization. He, when you're first-time head coach in the NHL and you have Lindy Ruff as one of your top assistants and someone you can lean on day in and day out, the 8th winningest all-time coach in NHL history, it really made my adjustment to the NHL a lot easier, and he will be missed. That being said, one of the things we were conscious of is make sure there were a lot of similarities between what was going on in Hartford and what was going on in New York. And, Murph oversaw the handling of the defense. He oversaw the penalty kill. So there really isn't going to be much of a transition from that standpoint. That being said, every coach has their own touches and verbiage and tweaks to whatever you do. You may want to coach the same system as somebody, but every coach has their own way about it. And I think it may take a little bit of time for our guys to get a little bit adjusted to the way Gord wants to do things, but I don't think that's going to be a problem.
NHL semantics and verbiage is calling this the qualifying round, but for all intent and purpose, it is the playoffs. So for you, as somebody who will experience this for the first time in the NHL, whose brains have you picked, and what's some of the best advice you've gotten on what to expect and how to conduct it?
I've been fortunate because I got a lot of guys in this league that I know and I'm friends with that have coached in this league. And, the biggest thing is, once you get going, and actually Mark Stoll and I were talking about it yesterday, that it really does become, a lot of it is the similarities to what you go through in the regular season. I mean, there's really not a lot of difference. The pressure's different. I think when you feel pressure is when you don't feel prepared or you're not confident. And I think we're prepared and I think we're confident.
Perfect transition to the next question about your goaltender, and that's Igor Shesterkin, who showed no evidence of feeling the pressure of playing in the NHL in his first 12 games. Might the lack of a crowd or maybe the stage of Madison Square Garden at playoff time be a help for him?
Well, I think this guy has strived under crowds and pressures and big-time game magnitudes, as has Hank and Georgie as well. One of the things I have touched on is that, we feel like we've been playing playoff type hockey games for the last 2.5 months. So our urgency was high when the season ended, and we know it has to be high when we get going again. So I don't foresee any issues from that end of it.
David, this is the time of year where a lot of coaches, a lot of players will say what happened in the regular season doesn't matter, but you guys were undefeated against Carolina, and going back a couple of years, it's 10 of the last 12. Do you want that to matter? Is it something that you want them to maybe stress, if for no other reason than it'll bolster their confidence to know they could beat this team?
Yeah, I cringe when you say that because it's, winning and losing can be deceiving. And, we've been fortunate. We've had great goaltending against Carolina. There certainly have been some games that we walked out of there with 2 points where we shook our head and thought, we really didn't deserve that. That being said, I thought in this season, I thought every game we got better and better. I thought we played our best game the last game of the season against them. So everybody wants to talk about the season and our record against them and our power play percentage during the season, and our penalty kill during the season, and our goals against. It's not about your season. It's about what have you been doing lately. And when we focus on stats and, our penalty kill and our goals against and stats like that, we really focus on a 3 to 4 week window. How are we doing right now? Because we better be better than we were in October and November. And, I don't get caught up, and we don't get caught up in the long season stats. And I'm certainly not paying attention to the fact that, what our record is against them, because there really is no relevance to it. And I don't just say that because I don't want to fuel the fire here. It's the truth. This is a team that went to the Eastern Conference Final last year. They're very well coached. They're very hard to play against, and we know we have a tall task at hand.
David Quinn, thanks for joining us from the bubble. Enjoy the ride, and I know that every Ranger fan probably hopes that number that you ultimately fill out is about 62 days in Canada. Thank you.
Let's hope. Thanks, John.